The Tudors were known for their brutal punishments, and few were as infamous as hanging, drawing and quartering, the full traitor's death. We hear about it often in historical records, but what did it actually involve? Today, I'll take you through this gruesome punishment step by step. Be warned, this is not for the faint-hearted. So what was hanging, drawing and quartering? Well, this method of execution was reserved for traitors and was first recorded in 1241, with the first major case being Dafydd ap Gruffydd, Prince of Wales, in 1283. Women found guilty of treason were usually burnt at the stake instead, though neither method was remotely merciful. In the Tudor period, it was the standard punishment for high treason, but what did it actually involve? Well, step one, being drawn to the execution site. The condemned man was tied to a hurdle, which is a wooden frame, and dragged by a horse through the streets. Crowds would line the route, hurling abuse and sometimes objects at the prisoner, humiliation and pain before the execution even began. Step two, hanging, but not to death. The prisoner was hanged until nearly dead, not until the neck broke, but just enough to cause extreme pain and unconsciousness. A skilled executioner was needed. If they let the man die too soon, the crowd would be disappointed. Step three, disembowelment. Once cut down, the prisoner was revived if necessary, and then had his stomach cut open. His organs were pulled out while he was still alive, often including the heart and his genitals too. The executioner would burn the organs in front of the dying man, adding psychological torment. Execution in slow motion. Step four, beheading and quartering. The prisoner was then beheaded before their body was chopped into 4 quarters. Sometimes quartering was done with horses. Their limbs were tied to 4 horses, which were then driven off in different directions. The final insult? Well, the head and body parts were parboiled and displayed. The head on London Bridge and the quarters in different locations as a warning. A message to all potential traitors. Some of the most famous people sentenced to this execution method include Francis Derham in 1541. He was accused of treason with Queen Catherine Howard. Guy Fawkes and the gunpowder plotters in 1606, though Fawkes actually cheated the executioner by jumping from the scaffold and breaking his neck when he was being hanged. Then there's Anthony Babington and Chidiock Titchbourne in 1586, who were executed for plotting to assassinate Elizabeth I. Catholic priests in Elizabeth I's reign, including Edmund Campion and Alexander Bryant. The last fully recorded execution of this kind in Britain was David Tirry in 1782. The crowd was said to be large, between 20,000 and 100,000 people, and some took pieces of his body as souvenirs. Hanging, drawing and quartering was designed not just to punish but to terrorise. It was a spectacle, a warning that treason meant the most brutal of deaths. Now you have to stay tuned for part 2, which will be coming soon, because I'll be covering other execution methods like beheading, boiling and pressing to death. So why don't you click on that bell to be notified when that video goes live, and consider subscribing too. Thank you for joining me. Bye bye.